Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of the SMU AthleTech Compliance webinar. I am your host, Rob Hoyer, Assistant Athletics Director for Compliance here at SMU, and we are excited to bring you this episode to show you how we catalog our rules education efforts here at SMU using Evernote. I promise this is going to be the last episode on Evernote for a little while. We're going to expand into different tools next month, I promise. But we wanted to make sure we close the loop with Evernote, since it's probably the biggest technology tool that we utilize on a day-to-day basis. And so one of the things that unfortunately we have been able to find out all too well here at SMU is how important it is to be able to catalog everything that you do from a documentation standpoint, being able to show what you said, to whom you said it, and when you said it. And so Evernote has been incredibly helpful for us in those respects, and we're going to demonstrate that today and show you how and why it has proven to be so helpful and so valuable. And so I'm going to end the video right here, and then we'll have screen share going. And so the first thing that I want to make sure that we go over is showing you just how to create a note from the desktop app. And from the desktop app, as you can see, it's blank canvas, blank slate. There's no title, there's no writing, but we can drag files. We can choose a template. We went over templates last month. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to drag a PDF of our March 2019 Rules Education presentation that is being given to our coaches and sport-specific staff. This month, we're going over extra benefits, we're going over agents, and we're going over amateurism. And so that's going to be the presentation that our coaches hear. And it's important to be able to, again, show that document. And with the PDF version, it gives this nice viewer window to where you don't have to actually open the document to see what is in it. It's not necessarily the same if you were to upload a Microsoft Office document like Word or Excel, but with PDF, it does provide this nice viewer window. And so we have demonstrated what we have said, or what we will be saying to our coaches. The next step is being able to show whom we said it to. And so I'm going to scan the sign-in sheet that I have prepared just for the purposes of this demonstration. I apologize for the background noise. As that is getting pulled up, I want to demonstrate or show also the scanner that we use. So you see this window that has popped up. The scanner that I use in my office, my personal scanner, is a ScanSnap S1300i. And the reason this is really helpful for me is that, as you can see, I can scan it to a folder, maybe a downloads folder or just a depository folder here on my local machine, my desktop, or I can scan it directly into Evernote as a PDF. And if it goes in as a scanned PDF through the ScanSnap, it will automatically scan the document for OCR, which is, in layman's terms, is a way to just be able to read the document, the computer to read the document, and search what is within the document to be able to see, hey, if there's some keywords that maybe in a PDF that you're trying to find, it would pull that document up in your Evernote search. And so it's a really helpful tool. And again, it's the ScanSnap S1300i. I'll post a link for it in the notes here when I upload this video to our YouTube channel. In the meantime, I'm going to scan it directly into Evernote. And as you see, this nice, there's a warning that has popped up saying that it's been imported. So let's close this document. As you can see, the scanned sign-in sheet went in as a PDF. Again, the people who are in our office and have signed this, we now see who has been a part of the meeting. But as you'll see, they're separate. They're separate notes. We have the ability to merge those if you don't want to copy and paste or drag the sign-in sheet over. Here's another way that you can do it. You can merge the two together, and as you'll see, this nice header is here. as well as the document, and the timestamp as well as the sign-in sheet document is below. And so that's one way that we have shown what we have said and whom we have said it to. The last component that we have gone over here is the information when we said that stuff. And so this information, the circle I button, shows when the note was created and when it was updated. Sometimes in our office, sign-in sheets or presentations don't always get uploaded in real time as they happen. And so as you'll see, this particular meeting happened on March 15th. Excuse me, March 5th. This is a rebroadcast from the original streaming of this webinar. And the circle I, just as a best practice, something that just we do for clarity's sake, is we have the created date reflect the date on the sign-in sheet here, March 5th, and you'll see on the circle I, March 5th. Everything we do with Evernote is chronological, and so we want to make sure that it's reflective of that date, and because it's to us, it's like a line in a spreadsheet. Every row in a spreadsheet represents something different that we did, and so there should be a separate date for everything that we did also. And so that's why that is reflected there. And so I'm going to hit the sync button, get everything uploaded and ready to go. Now the next part that we're going to go over is there is a document scanner that is integrated into the Evernote app, and certainly understanding of the fact that we're getting near the end of a budget cycle here in this academic year and not maybe going to be able to drop a couple of $100s on a scanner, however nice and portable it is. But the document scanner within the Evernote app is incredibly helpful, and so I'm going to demonstrate that right now. Let me bring over a new share here, and now I'm sharing my my screen on my phone. As you'll see, I'm popping open this this note that we just brought in, and you'll see that it's brand new. So here we're going to create a new note, and I'm going to select the camera button. See a live shot here of my office and my desk. This in-app camera detects the edges of the paper, and it will scan it in to look just like a document, as though it were scanned through a scanner. And so we'll save that, and we'll just start March 2019 webinar, and we'll hit save. And there we go. We have uploaded that, and so now you'll see both versions of the notes that we have uploaded. Because a lot of times, maybe if you're off-site, you're at a meeting outside of your office, you're not going to be able to use that scanner anyway. If you have difficulty making sure that stuff gets in there right away, it's something to be able to do right there on the fly, and it's really helpful. So we're going to stop the share of that. We're going to bring up. We're going to go back to our Evernote window. We're going to hit sync, and you'll see the new document showed up. So with that, we're going to move over into tags. So our tags list, some best practices, some ideas that we would have for tags. If you're familiar with Facebook, tagging a note is just like tagging a photo on Facebook. You have one photo, tagging multiple people in it, and you only have to upload the photo one time to get the tags for every person in it. And we do the same thing with our Rules Education in this particular example. With Rules Ed, we tend to tag each meeting with three things. The audience, and so we're going to tag the education of coaches and staff. And so you'll see I clicked and dragged that over to the tag list. Another way that we can do this is just start by typing the name of the tag, monthly compliance meeting. And in this case, I'll drag it back over to men's golf just for demonstration purposes. And as you'll see, all three of those have gotten tagged in that way. As far as best practices, you can have your tag list as long or as short as you would like. What I would recommend is to keep it short. We try and keep our list short. No matter what you do, though, make sure you keep your tag list uniform. If it gets too long, it can be really confusing as to what is supposed to go where, and so we try and keep it really short, but everyone in our office is operating off the same list of tags. And from a filing standpoint, that makes it much easier to recall the information that you're trying to pull up when you're trying to pull it up. We have one tag for every sport program, 3-letter sport code, and we also have one tag for each administrative area because those tend to be the areas, teams and administrative areas that we educate most frequently. The last thing I'm going to touch on is Evernote structure. And Evernote structure, we have one account for the office, and then we have each individual member of our office create an individual personal account that we grant permissions to. And that helps just from an audit trail standpoint. That really helps us to be able to decipher updates made and those types of things. As I mentioned earlier, this is a rebroadcast of our original webinar, and so I'm going to pause, start the video back up here, and go over a couple of questions that were asked during the original broadcast. The first question that came up was, how many of those rules education meetings do you do each month? That was a great question, and at SMU we have a rules education meeting individually with each coaching staff and with each team every month. We have 17 sport programs here at SMU, and so we have meetings with each program's coaching staff and each program's student athletes. It's quite a bit of an undertaking, actually, but it's something that has proven to be really helpful and beneficial for us as we're building relationships with those respective teams, both the staffs and the student athletes. And so because each team will have the same presentation each month, we'll upload the PDF one time in OneNote with the understanding that, yes, this is something all the teams heard. And then we'll just upload the sign-in sheet for each team, and we'll file it accordingly. Each team's sign-in sheet gets their own note according to the date that it occurred, and that will end up being the log entry for that particular month, for that team, for that rules education meeting. Another question that we got is, what happens when you edit a note? And that's a wonderful question. That's something that I can demonstrate right here. And so we're still on the share with the Evernote window, and so pulling up Circle I. We've talked about that in the past. Circle I, we have our created date and our updated date. A premium version function is being able to view your note history. There's been a lot of talk recently about metadata and making edits and those types of things. And so if this note had more updates to it, you'd be able to see not only the current version, but the previous notes histories and be able to pull those up. That is a premium function, but it is really helpful, something that I've used. From a practical standpoint, if there was a rules education meeting that we had with one of our teams, maybe we went to their practice session and one or two kids were sick that day or had class or something to that effect, they'd be able to come back later and sign that sheet. Maybe we uploaded the original sheet without their signatures into Evernote already, and when they come to our office and meet with us separately, they have the ability to sign the sheet. Then we update the sign-in sheet on the note, and you'd be able to pull up either version of that sign-in sheet if for whatever reason you needed to access the previous version. With that being said, that will conclude the demonstration for today. I want to thank you for checking out this video. Again, this is a rebroadcast of our original episode, but I do want to ask and remind everybody to join us live April 2nd at 3 p.m. and we're going to be going over Google Forms, using Google Forms as a way to help your compliance enterprise. And we will demonstrate how one of the ways that we're going to be using Google Forms here at SMU to help meet some of the new proposals for the reform on college basketball. It's going to be really exciting. Hope that you'll join us. Until then, take care.